Many scientific tests, like carbon dating, have shown that the Earth is somewhere around 4.5 billion years old. Being this old, there was plenty of time for the organisms to change into the very distinct species they are today. Even when it first appeared, many years before Darwin's book, The Origin of Species, this theory of evolution was considered a radical idea. Because of the research done by Darwin, and the studies since, it has gained more support in the scientific community. Darwin's main research dealt with finches on the Galapagos Islands just off the coast of South America. Of these 13 species, they each had different environments to live in, but they all had a common ancestor from South America 600 miles away. Because of the environments they lived in, the beak sizes and shape changed anatomically in accordance to what they had to eat. Dennis O'Neill says that this is adaptive radiation, when species reproduce in an isolated environment and therefore have different traits passed down, which are chosen by natural selection. Natural selection would choose the traits that would most benefit the species. Survival of the fittest can also be used to describe this, though it is often misunderstood. Survival of the fittest is not only physical, but also can be cognitive. As long as the species has the traits that are good for them, they will pass down these traits. One recent study that is very significant now is the study of peppered moths in Europe. Many towns or cities had lots of smoke and black and white moths living in the area. The soot and smoke killed lichen on trees and blackened buildings. The white moths slowly died out because they were easier to spot by birds. In 1895, 98% of the moths in the area were black. Sir Cyril Clarke of the University of Liverpool studied this, and in 1959 said that natural selection changed the color of the moths. In the 1950s, air pollution fell and moths turned back to white, because they are again harder to spot and birds do not eat them as much. Another prominent study nowadays is the study of vestiges in animals. Douglas Theobald defines a vestige as a trait in an animal or species that is no longer used or is used for something that is completely different than what it was intended for. Ostrich rings are something that are still used, but you can clearly see that they were used for flight in its ancestors. Snakes and whales have also been found to have pelvises, or even in some rare cases, hind legs, and this shows that the species' ancestors may have walked on all fours. Even with all of this evidence, people still have lots of misconceptions. One major misconception is what a theory actually is. The WGBH Educational Foundation defines a theory as a rigorously tested statement which explains observable and recordable aspects of the world. Another argument against evolution is that if humans evolved from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? Well, humans did not evolve from monkeys, but they have a common ancestor with many apes in Africa. Many people say that evolution has never been observed. Well, to observe evolution, it would be nearly impossible in one lifetime to see a species change into another, but that's not observing it. We can also look at fossil evidence and other evidence to see that evolution is happening. And according to Mark Isaac, evolution is change in a gene pool over time, which happens all the time, such as insects developing immunities to pesticides in just a matter of 10 years. Because of these misconceptions, the people who think evolution is true has dropped from 45% to 40% in the United States, but the people who think it's false has also dropped from 48% to 39%. That means people who are unsure about it has grown. By looking at the evidence Darwin presented in The Origin of Species, many recent studies dealing with the vestiges, and clearing up many of the misconceptions that people have about evolution, we can clearly see that evolution is happening, slowly but surely, right before our eyes.